try to again compare whether it predicted correctly or not. So that's when you use supervised learning. When you talk about unsupervised learning is, you don't have a data to train upon. You just throw some data and say, find me some patterns from this data. So that's like clustering. So you may have like a demographic data of Seattle, and you just throw it at a clustering model. And what it will come, and you say, I want 10 clusters. What it will come back with, it will show you 10 clusters, and it will say, there is a cluster around age, there is a cluster around, say, race, there is a cluster around income of these people. So it will try to say what data points are correlated together. And that's what it will, you don't have to tell what they are correlated, the system will find it for you. It will not say this is a class of something, it will just say these seem to be like correlated. These data points seem to be like correlated. So you are not defining, you are not training the system, you're just throwing plain data, and system is coming back with what are the correlations that exist in this data. That's clustering.
So what's the statistical significance in clustering?
So basically when you, so suppose I am trying to build a machine learning system, a predictive analytics system, but I don't know what my classes might be. So suppose I'm in a very hypothetical kind of a situation where I don't know my data. So the first step you might do is clustering. So you might first throw it to clustering to understand what clusters exist actually. And then once you know, okay, and then you label them, okay, there are 5 clusters that exist and they are significant for me. I'll label them cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3, cluster 4, and cluster 5. Once I label them all these 5 clusters, then I can build a classifier and say, predict if I send a new data, which cluster it belongs to. Does it kind of?
You bring the domain expert at that point.
Exactly, exactly. So, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm finished.
Exploratory analysis.
Yeah.
But even that is already modeled by somebody, right?
Which one?
The clustering one.
No, it is not modeled. You are it's raw data. So you just, so it is for, like, when you yourself don't know your own domain, like you have no business expert, nothing. Let me quote an example. So in one company, I heard this thing, they were getting a lot of customer requests, okay? Some work requests, some services not working or something like not working. So they used to keep getting these customer requests coming into that company again and again. And they want to segment, like, what is telling these customer complaints that are coming to us again and again. So nobody really understood, like, what is that these customers are really like complaining about. Like one way is you can keep going through each and every complaint that customer files and try to understand it. Since the complaints were so huge in number, that's why I will not name the company, which company it was, but the complaints are so huge in number, you want to be able to cluster them so that you can attack them separately, right? You cannot handle each and every complaint. So in that situation, we suggested you might want to use clustering. So in clustering, first they identified which problem sets are kind of similar and they can group and form a cluster. Okay, I'll appoint this kind of a person to solve these kind of problems. I'll appoint this kind of a person to solve these kind of problems. So now they were able to find 10 different clusters of problems. So they identified class A, class B, class D, or all these 10 classes. Now, anytime any new customer request comes, the classifier classifies it to, oh, this looks like class B problem. This looks like class D problem. Now, the specific agent who is trained on class A problem can solve that problem. It's not like everything is coming to everyone and people are, yeah, go ahead.
So you're right that there's no classes that have gone into the modeling, but
yeah.
Someone still has to figure out which features to include to try and cluster, right? And so there's some amount of modeling.
Sure, absolutely.
Actually, it's purely mathematical model where it's a more generic model where you find the criteria, finding the distance between the points.
Right. Yeah, but I have to define the dimensions and the
no, not really.
types.
No, in clustering you don't have to do that. So you're talking about supervised learning. In supervised learning, of course you have to do that. What are my different features, etc. In clustering, you don't have to. All you need to tell it. So nowadays you have systems where they will even find out if you were to say, let's say you want 3 classes or 4 classes or 5 classes, it will tell which is the optimum class for you. Like, should you have 3, 2, or 10 classes? Like, how many clusters? So in traditional systems, you have to specify that are you looking for 3 clusters, 5 clusters, 10 clusters. But nowadays the systems are there. It can tell you, given that you can do 2 clusters, 3 clusters, 4 clusters, 5, which is the most optimum cluster.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm not talking about the classes, but like in the customer problem, there's probably, features of customers, like they're from this area, or they've been customers for that long, so there's all these traits of each data point.
So it helps, but so what you're saying is very valid point, I agree. So that business knowledge does help, but you might as well just throw all the data that you come in and let the system define what the clusters exist.
Okay. like you said,
Maybe
figure
the
out which are the
natural language
useful
processing
features and which are the
processing,
garbage features.
Yeah, yeah.
numbers is much easier.
Yeah, so basically you can have just all the complaints that customers have filed, I'll just throw it towards the system. I will not tell anything. Let just system find out. Does it cluster based upon the location from which the complaints are coming? Does it cluster based upon the subject that people are writing? Does it cluster based upon the profanity language that they're writing? What is happening, right? So it all depends based upon, like, you can let the system define for you, or if you think you can add value to it, you can define it and then let the system define for you. So it's a combination of both. Go ahead.
So I'm just trying to understand the last point, which is the dimensionality reduction.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know much, but I'll try
no,
to
but according to my understanding, it should be somewhat related to clustering, because as part of dimensionality reduction, what I do as a statistician, I do principal component analysis and stuff like that,
Right.
and try to identify the major
Features that will
contributing factors.
Yeah.
So out of, like, supposing I
100
identified
million,
20
yeah.
clusters, out of those maybe only 5 might be relevant. 5
Right.
might be contributing more than 60% of the.
So actually, what you said, I also only know that much. So that is why I didn't want to go in detail, because I did not study enough for that. And
Okay.
the problem that I'm working with do not use that as much.
Okay.
So I don't have much insight into it, but you are right. So basically, some of the algorithms that I work, the number of features can go in like millions. And if you have millions of features, it becomes so much difficult to process that kind of data. And there also we have to involve dimensionality reduction. So even so I could build a system which is using pretty much all of them to just do one prediction. I could first pass it through a clustering system. I can even pass it through a dimensional reduction system. Then I can do a classification and regression on the same data to get to one answer. So you could use them all individually separately, or you can club everything in your one process itself using all these different techniques.
So can you give an example of how will you take a specific case and walk all these 4 through and get to one answer?
Sure, I can do that. So let me think about it. Okay, perfect. So I can choose a domain. I'll talk about that domain. Choose whatever domain you like, and I'll speak on that.
Email spam, simple.
Email spam. Okay, correct. So email spam is a very easy example. Actually, it's a binary classification. It's not a best use case to describe all 4 of them.
That's
Do
all.
something else.
Let's take the same example.
So you can, for example, you can have disease data, right, for all the public disease. You can run through a cluster and let it pick 5 top diseases. Or if you're a doctor, you can say, I'm looking for these 5 diseases, and you can then either classify or cluster. So these are the 2 examples. If you're a doctor, you can say, hey, I'm looking for these top 5 diseases. Then you can